Hello, guys. Omni here. We got one more trailer that I wanted to check out and talk about tonight. This is well, I don't know if I would call this a trailer. I would classify this as yet another teaser. This was a commercial for the Breaking Bad movie El Camino, or I'm sorry, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, which is picking up on the status of Jesse Pinkman after the events of the series finale, sorry, of Breaking Bad. This commercial was shown at the Emmys. This is going to be coming straight to Netflix on October 11th. I was apprehensive at first when I heard they were going to be diving back into this world. Better Call Saul is kind of a different kind of story because it's a character that is still going on, but it's all flashbacks. It's prior to the events of the show. It gives us context clues on a key player throughout the series. And I thought that was a good way to kind of branch out. But returning to the direct involvement with the franchise, with not the franchise, I guess it's a franchise now, but the series of Breaking Bad, which I think ended perfectly. The One of the few shows that I can say landed their series finale masterfully. And though the one loose end we all had was knowing what happened to Jesse. I know at the time Vince Gilligan said he kind of liked that it was open ended. You can imagine whatever ending you wanted for Jesse to have after he escaped the compound at the end of the season. Um, but I guess according to his own words, over time he started to wonder what actually did happen, and he decided to turn it into this movie. So let's go ahead and dive into this new trailer, where the other one was just them kind of interrogating Skinny Pete. Um, let's see what we have in this. All right, and go. This is a little bit longer, about a minute. That's the Camino that he escaped from, right? Is that Jesse?
Breaking news. A horrific scene with multiple victims. It started when neighbors reported hearing hundreds of gunshots fired. When Albuquerque police arrived, they discovered the bodies of 9 male victims, many shot multiple times.
Is this right
Federal
after
police
he got
officers
away?
calling the level of carnage, quote, staggering. Apparently, a remote-controlled machine gun was used in the killing.
It is.
Investigators are searching for
Oh
a
man,
person of
his
interest who
scars.
fled the scene. Anyone with information on this massacre is asked to call police immediately.
Are you serious? They want him that bad. This he hasn't had any time to like be free or anything. Okay, so I've heard some theories about this at why he's a key player that they're looking out for. Did they really even know he was there? Would they have needed to know? One of the theories, I was watching New Rock Stars kind of break this down, and that, it was kind of is Walter White still alive? What is why exactly is there this manhunt after Jesse Pinkman now that they have apprehended Walter White? One of the theories was that his testimony still stands. They need a witness or somebody to uh testify against his allegations, kind of back them up and bring him down. If Because we didn't see him die. We assumed he did. He hit the ground from his gunshot wound. We knew his cancer had came out of remission and that he was going to be dying anyway. But technically, if you know where he was shot, it would have taken him quite some time to actually die from that wound. And he was found almost immediate. So it is likely that they could have saved him from the gunshot long enough to actually persecute him, and that maybe that him being alive, them knowing what happened to Hank and Gomez, and Walt now being alive, possibly alive. I'm not saying he is, but maybe that's it. Maybe because he's a key witness in all this. Because there's no one around to be like, oh, Jesse was our cook right now, except that we know that he escaped from he was in custody with Hank and Gomez before all of that kind of went crazy, before they found him. So he had been missing since that point. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how they tie that in if it's not related to Walt and it's just they have this need to find Pinkman after those events, which I get. I'm sure they would in a real life situation, but I'm not sure how much you can build around that. What kind of drive to the plot you can throw in there, give us that kind of tension other than just a, a man on the run kind of story. Um, but who knows? Maybe that's what we get. I'm really curious to see what they do with this. There's a lot of possibilities that they do this, but I trust this cast. I trust the writers. I trust Vince Gilligan with this story because he's done an amazing job delivering a concise story that at the time concluded with him not really like vying to stretch this out. So I don't think that he would come back and do this without full faith in what he's written and what he's doing for these characters because his vision played out and he is one of the few people, few writers, directors, creators of these shows out there that I think nailed almost the perfect series. He didn't make it last longer than it needed to go. He knew that there was going to be an eventual end point, and he never tried to stretch it, shorten it. It was as long as he wanted it to be, and that's where they left it. I mean, he went off to Better Call Saul, assisted with producing that, but I wouldn't really consider that extending it. It's more like supplementary, since it doesn't really interfere with our primary characters all that much or at all, really. Um, they did just confirm earlier today too that another returning cast member is Jonathan Banks will be back, which can only be in flashbacks. There's been reports of the RV being on set, them shooting, which again, if you remember the show, it was destroyed in the comp or what was it the scrapper in the junkyard that the RV got destroyed, the one that they were cooking in. So that could have been a flashback. We could probably see Walter White in some flashbacks or living and in the flesh and really getting to live out the consequences of his actions if they manage to actually prosecute and imprison him. As long as he can survive the cancer and being in prison. But who knows? They've said that there's 10 returning characters that will be appearing in this, and I don't know that the full list has been announced of who those 10 are. Other than Jonathan Banks reprising his role has been confirmed as of today, playing Mike. So I'm really curious to see how this all pans out. This is something I'm super excited for. Breaking Bad is easily one of my favorite shows of all time. And I'm really excited to see where this goes and see Jesse come back into play because he really got the shortest end of the stick out of anybody in this show. I think he really had the most just negative outcomes out of everybody. Given Walt had cancer and this is all Walt's doing, but every decision Walt made ended up falling back and ruining Jesse's life even further. However, you could say that's still all on Jesse's fault. He made those choices that got him into this situation, which led to him meeting Walt, which led to them to do what they did. And this is just, a domino effect of his personal life choices, which in reality, it is. But a lot of this still does fall on Walt after the fact. So I want to see I really want Jesse to get a happy ending. I think he deserves it. I think he definitely deserves that ride off into the sunset. And that's at least before this happened, that I could at least in my own interpretation of the ending had said, oh, in my version, Jesse just kept on driving and he got away. He took off with whatever money he could and just, started that carpentry business that he had talked about in rehab at the what was it? One of those little talk circles, those not Alcoholics Anonymous. I can't remember what it was, where they all kind of gather around, talk about their issues, therapy, group therapy. And they were talking about that. He mentioned that a couple times. Even when he was chained up in the compound doing cooking the meth, he had that daydream where he wasn't actually cooking meth, but he was putting together little wooden boxes, doing together, making these chests and stuff. And it was so sad seeing him snap back and being all beaten up, scarred, dirty, rugged, and just chained up making meth, man. Jesse had it rough. Woo! Another thing I haven't touched upon in any of my videos or updates is that Vince Gilligan did say that this movie is not going to hold your hand and explain things you need to know that happened in the show. This movie will assume that you have seen the entire show. Not that somebody who hasn't, this is their first Breaking Bad thing, will not get something out of it, but you definitely, it's not going to slow down to explain things that are necessary for this story. I appreciate that, especially as a Breaking Bad fan. Hopefully, it'll incite some people who do watch it that haven't watched the show to actually go back and start and or just finish it. But it's worth the watch. It is such a great show. So many great performances, such great writing, memorable moments. If you haven't watched Breaking Bad, you're doing yourself a disservice. The first season a little hard to get through, but once it gets going, it just gets going, man. Awesome. Love the show. Done. That is my thoughts for this. It's time for you guys to give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this trailer. What are you hoping for about this? We've talked about this already in the previous teaser trailer that we covered and I reacted to. So I'm hopefully not repeating too many of the same things. So sound off in the comments. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. And if you like this video, make sure to support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing. And if you disagree with me, let me know what you disagreed with, what you didn't like down in the comments as well. We can have a conversation about that. Anyway, guys, thank you all for stopping in. That is it for tonight's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.